Hey guys, stuff like crack and cocaine are bad and can kill you. You know what's also bad? A bunch of drug PSAs from Partnership for a Drug-Free America. But instead of doing a serious commentary, I'm going to be compiling some of the riffs I did on Twitter into one big video for YouTube, as well as a few never-before-seen riffs on said PSAs, just to provide some comedy on this channel instead of it being serious all the time. So, yeah, alright, time for me to get into Damon's character, so enjoy the show.
When I grow up, I want to be a track star.
No one ever says, I want to be a junkie when I grow up.
You know, for a junkie, he seems to be in pretty good physical shape if he's able to run that far, shown by the sweats. Also, you don't know if the police officer was going to arrest that guy. It looked like he wanted a free piggyback ride.
I want to be a ballerina.
Yet thousands of kids let getting high make a mess of their lives.
And clearly this person got high on tripping. What? They didn't say high on drugs? Now that requires too much effort to say.
I want to be a nurse.
Pretty sure one of the first lessons in med school is do not use the body as a drum set.
Don't let drugs get in the way of your dreams.
Well, I guess that does raise the question then. What about stuff like steroids in competitive sports? You know, stuff that can help players achieve their dreams. What about those? Just curious, because you don't even seem to mention that. Also, I love how they say drugs here, and yet they didn't bring it up with the ballerina. I also love that apparently drugs can keep you conscious for a couple of seconds, and then they inconveniently fall to the floor. Interesting. Yeah, fuck this shit.
Hello, how are you? I got a great one. It's funny. Stop me if you heard it, okay? Okay, here it goes. There's this guy, right?
Funny, I thought I was watching a drug PSA, not your shitty Tinder story.
And this guy, I mean, you know, he wants to be a big man, right? As if 7'6" isn't big enough.
Well, he may be tall, but I imagine that he's not big in other sections.
I'm telling you, at this party, they're all doing coke and crack like it's some sort of candy. So Mr. Health decides he wants to do some too. He's never done any before. Guess what happens? The fool drops dead.
Wow, after one tiny hit, he's actually dead. That is actually pretty funny.
Get it?
That you're a scary fuck who uses the death of a person in order to tell their jokes? Yes. Yes, I do.
Get it.
Jesus Christ, is this meant to be a PSI or shitty pilot for some hospital drama? Jesus Christ. I just can't believe you're cheating on me. Sir, we have a body to save for my wife, man.
Doing drugs is like being on top of the world.
Really? Cause when I took a Xanax a while back, and zombies rose from the grave, and Dragon Ball GT was the only sequel to Dragon Ball Z, I don't think that defines feeling on top of the world when taking drugs. Oops. Because when all else fails in the war on drugs, clearly the best alternative is to go into horror movie territory, especially with the soundtrack. This is so fucking pathetic, Jesus Christ.
1 gram of cocaine costs as much as a boombox.
So the moral of the story is, don't snort crack, but snort boomboxes instead? Well, I guess that would be one way to get good music.
3 grams of cocaine costs as much as a TV.
Yeah, but if you buy a TV, all you get is a bunch of static. And I can't snort that. Did I seriously just say that?
7 grams? A trip to Paris.
Well, this bit didn't age well, especially if this article's anything to go by. It's like, yeah, don't snort cocaine, go to Paris, where you could run into even more drugs.
If you're on coke, everything you work for is disappearing.
So, wait, if I work for a really shitty person and I take cocaine, you just disappear Thanos style? No, wait a minute. The last PSA said if I take coke, then everything I work for will disappear. I don't work for my brain, PSA. You fucking liar. Also, it looks like I was right. Someone does get dusted.
Is there anyone out there who still isn't clear about what doing drugs does?
Well, if they did, your company would likely go out of business, so in an odd sense, you kinda need people who abuse drugs or use it improperly in order to keep making these, so...
Okay, last time. This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Actually, yes. Why do you keep using that analogy if it's clear that people still don't know the effects of taking drugs? After a while, you'd probably realize that your message didn't work the way you thought it did and change it, but no, you just reused it and summed up drug use as turning your brain into something delicious/tempting. Also, yeah, I should definitely take advice from the guy who had a drinking problem when he did the ad and now supports legalizing marijuana.
One out of every 5 people who try cocaine get hooked. But that's not your problem. Or is it?
Nope, because I don't take the scale, boss. Also, the punchline to all this is that even without cocaine, those kids could still be in danger if the driver is drunk, has a mental breakdown, factors like mechanical failure, or even the driver of the train/car not paying attention. So it may not even be the fault of the bus driver taking the cocaine and the like, if the latter 2 cases occur.
It's yours?
No,
Your mother said she found it in your closet.
I thought we told you to throw your trash in the trash can.
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not.
did you get it?
Drug dealer? Where do you think you'd get it? The corner store? Buy one, get high free?
Dad,
Answer me.
Or incur the wrath of my painted-on mustache.
Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Well, shit, he's going to prison.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
In related news, if something is hot, it'll feel hot. If it rains, the ground will get wet. When someone is dead, they stop living. It's like no fucking shit.
My friend Nancy's been doing a lot of drugs.
I could easily tell her parents or call the cops about this, but that's not what a good friend would do. Now letting them get hit by a train, that's clearly a great idea. Jesus, we sure you're not the fucked up one here? Grinning over your friend who's about to die? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Now it's catching up with her. I can see it coming. But what can I do?
Push her out of the way of the train before you get a ketchup bath?
If I say anything, she'll think I'm not cool.
Aren't you like 20? Who gives a fuck about coolness at that point? That's teenage shit.
And I don't want to lose a friend.
Yeah, that is a good point. So the best option is to let the train hit her, causing her to die, and you lose a friend. Great job continuing the blondes are stupid stereotype.
Son, I figured when you were old enough I'd talk to you about drugs.
But then I decided to let the TV babysit you instead. I'm a great parent.
Only I never figured that I ought to be telling
line?
that to a 13-year-old.
Excuse me? Is your reasoning as bad as your fashion choice, Mr. 3 layers on a -4-degree day? Telling him at 13, or even better, before 13, is a great time to talk to him about the topics so that when he gets older, he knows that drugs are bad, or at least should know that they're bad by that point in his life. And yeah, I should feel bad about the dad losing his kids, but ignoring that this is a PSI and not real for a minute, why should I feel bad about the dad being an idiot when it comes to talking to his son about drugs? If anything, I feel bad for the kid because he likely found out about drugs from other people, or even drug dealers, and because he wasn't told by his dad that drugs were bad, well, he ended up taking it anyways without thinking of the consequences because he didn't know of them, and then he ended up dead. God, this rant was long. I need something light-hearted again. What do we got? Oh my god! That text is not centered! What, you thought I was scared by the music? No, it just sounds like some idiot just playing the key over and over again, trying to be scary. Oh crap, I didn't study for the needles class test tomorrow. Could someone lend me their notes? Also, jeez, Honey Nut Cheerios has really gone down here with the newest oats design. At this point, I'd rather take another Xanax than watch this softcore horse shit you got going for your PSIs. Seriously, this shit is more rotten than this teen's brain. Funny, cause this PSA looks like it was filmed on a budget of $5, and most of it was spent on the dollar store piano they used. Oh, who am I kidding? I could pay someone on $5 right now, and they can make a better PSA than this garbage. 51% equals everyone? So not only can these people not make a good PSA, But the people behind this can't even do math? Good grief, I would not be surprised if all of them smoked that crayon-looking blunt before doing this PSA. Guilds.
When she was 9, he helped her build a telescope that could see the moons of Jupiter.
Well, after the second attempt, the first time Susie saw modern-day Detroit and mistook it for the moons.
When she was 14, after a lot of giggling and giving up, her mom finally taught her how to hit a wicked two-handed backhand.
Unfortunately, her record was demolished a few years later when Serena Williams became a tennis star.
All through her growing up, Susie's parents taught her well. But for all their love and attention, there was one lesson left untaught.
Don't break glass.
Susie's parents never taught her about drugs.
What is with these PSAs and having this trope of really dumb parents?
They never told her that drugs maim, drugs kill.
Well, shit, and here I was going to take this annex to make me feel better, but it's as the announcer says.
Drugs kill.
So if I take it, it'll kill me. Or did you mean illegal drugs? But it would be so hard to just say illegal drugs, and not stuff like over-the-counter or prescribed medication.
So Susie learned one final lesson on her own. When you don't say no to your kids about drugs, it's the same as saying yes.
My jokes and all that aside, this actually is a pretty good moral. But that's not going to stop me from making one final joke about this PSA because I'm a dick. So the extra moral of this story is, if you're going to do a drug PSA, specifically with bongs in it, actually fill in the fucking bong instead of leaving it emptier than this person's dreams. Thank you. You know what, screw it. I haven't owned my Xanax today and I'm depressed after watching all day, so fuck it. What's the worst thing that could happen?